Hey, what's up? Y'all know who it is, man. The Dolphins D, we already in here. Ready to turn up this year. We gon' get it.
To Hard Rock Stadium.
We gon' defend it. We gon' defend it. Homie, this side. We gon' defend it. Let me hear you say, his squad. We gon' defend it. We gon' defend it. Homie, this side. We gon' defend it. Let me hear you say, his squad. I got the whole squad with me now. Train to go. Come play games if you want to. Try to crash our house, you done took the wrong route. We gon' crash in you like a stunt dude. Check y'all like 1, 2. Slap your head like your uncle. You wanna ride, stay buckle. It get loud down here, get wild down here. Time to feel the jungle. Never disrespect the squad, it's defended by a line. And some beats on the feast on our position. Another line in the back, singing to the ER. Just in case you got through the first line with tripping. But if for some reason it get crazy, I got watchers on the corner for my safety. Everybody here well coached. Change the weather under pressure, stay cool like I AC. Woo! But we still make heat. Woo! Was you trying to play me? We be 3+ AD, but I'm a fool so low. Can't never do great beat. Be great, only way to do great things. Hit hard, only way to make a statement. Come up in our territory, make a payment. Or be in debt with your neck. We gon' defend. We gon' defend. Homie, this side. We gon' defend it. Let me hear you say, his squad. We gon' defend it. We gon' defend it. Homie, this side. We gon' defend it. Let me hear you say, his squad.
I hit them boys. We throw them toys. That's saying that QB. We them boys. We the realest. We go gorillas. We out here, homie. You gon' feel us. Don't make me come down. Get in that box. Like I'm red. I'll knock your socks. Won't play y'all boys. Cause we some bullies. We'll take your cookies. Cause y'all some rookies. I'm in the building. Me and Shot Jones. We do lane. We don't play zone. We play that man. So guard your hands. I see your eyes. You're scared,
we
man.
We gon' defend it. Homie, this side. We gon' defend it. Let me hear you say, his squad. We gon' defend it. We gon' defend it. Homie, this side. We gon' defend it. Let me hear you say, his squad.
Emmanuel Ogber, part of the Buffet Boys. Shout out Solo D. Shout out to DWA. Let's eat.
Yo, Solo. You know they been saying you gotta make a hit squad part 2. But you know, man, we hungry this time, man. We gotta eat this time. Yeah.
Back in the beast mode. AFC, we tryna rap up the East Coast. Take shots, fall back, then reload. Get the powder, time to slap up these foes. Anytime we hit the field, then we must play. And these boys going hard, man, I must say. Try to stay in one route like the busway. Trying to eat teams up like a buffet. Eat the offense like a buffet. Eat the quarterback like a buffet. Eat the running back like a buffet. Eat the wide receiver like a buffet. Eat the O-line like a buffet. Eat the coach up like a buffet. Eat the fan base like a buffet. Stay in one route like the busway. I say and not quote. Go hard or go home is the motto. A pick or a sack is the lotto. Let's cook them like Emerald Lagasso. My bad, Legacy. He going south, that is not me. Hungry for greatness, so I eat. Stay in my zone like a Bob D. Jumping off the edge like E and Shaq. Straight pressure, never easing back. Protection on the way you gon' get wins. Split through the middle like Wilkins. Got some backers on the back that's gon' back me up. Straight action, we be acting up. Tell Coach Drop his best plan, but it still get snatched by X-Man. Cause we back in the beast mode. AFC, we tryna rap up the East Coast. Take shots, fall back, then reload. Get the powder time to slap up these foes. Anytime we hit the field, then we must play. And these boys going hard, man, I must say. Tryna stay on one route like the busway. Tryna eat teams up like a buffet. Eat the offense like a buffet. Eat the quarterback like a buffet. Eat the running back like a buffet. Eat the wide receiver like a buffet. Eat the O-line like a buffet. Eat the coach up like a buffet. Eat the fan base like a buffet. Eat that one round like a buffet.
Eating like a buffet, it be a long day, we ain't gon' play. Yeah, them boys green, no Subway. Pick the ball off X and BJ. I don't care about what he and she say, that's nonsense. Check the replay. I work overnight and it's early morning, but I'm turned up cause it's game day. They don't really want it with your boy. O-line really get destroyed. Ex-Patriot, Cal Van Noy, put him on his butt, hurt hemorrhoids. What's a grown man to a boy? Jam him at the line, dare you to throw it. Disciplined coach Brian Flores, never getting routed to the boys. Fans better pay attention, even social distance. I got a witness and you know we blitzing, but mind your business. Christian Wilkins on the line of scrimmage. Far from timid, pushing to the limit, revving engine. You know we gotta get it, Nick Needham. You know we gonna pick it, Van Ginkel. Take it to the business. Fans up till my life is finished. Say it with my chest cause I'm in it. A lie, no why, I admit it. New era, yeah, our division. A win streak, we just keep on winning. So I lose, tell them suck a limit. Bills with the Jets in New England. Miami top dogs where you hear me.
Back in the beast mode. AFC, we tryna rap up the East Coast. Take shots, fall back, then reload. Get the powder time to slap up these foes. Anytime we hit the field, then we must play. And these boys going hard, man, I must say. Try to stay on one route like the busway. Tryna eat teams up like a buffet. Eat the offense like a buffet. Eat the quarterback like a buffet. Eat the running back like a buffet. Eat the wide receiver like a buffet. Eat the O-line like a buffet. Eat the coach up like a buffet. Eat the fan base like a buffet. Stand one round like the busway.
So low, so low, so low, deep. So low, so low, so low, deep.
I know the whole city rising. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter column. Whole squad been trained to go. Fins for life, we throw the foe. Singing this just to welcome bro. To a time, to a time. Time to grind, time to shine. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time. Time to grind, time to shine. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time. My intuition told me this. To trust the coach, he holds the gift. He knowing when to go with fits. So we knowing when to switch. This year we got the golden pick. Time to see what that pick about. Bad vibes get sent out. Only fans up in this house. We been waiting, yeah, we been patient. Now it's time to cash out, no discount. Super Bowl, yeah, we in route. I don't know when, but it's close. I don't wanna overhype, but I just know I like it. So excited, you gon' notice now. You should notarize it. They say 2 or from that rock. Shout out to Samoa, and now it's time to lay the smack down. You think you Dwayne Johnson? Time to be the people's champ. Hit them with the people's elbows, stick together like it's Velcro. You think you could stop us? Hell no, all day I dream about sports. I think I need some Chateau custom with some Dolphins colors, just to let them know we here. Yeah, I know the whole city riding. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter column. Whole squad been trained to go. Fins for life, we throw the foe. Singing this just to welcome bro. To a time, to a time. Time to grind, time to shine. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time. Time to grind, time to shine. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time.
To a time, to a time. Really hope he the man. Hope we found us a gem. Like the Heat found Bam. Wanna take time to thank Fitz, cause he put on the show. But the young man up, in the whole city know. Time to catch all the blessings. Cash out on the investment. Ball out, don't choke. Fins want all the smoke. Chris Gregg gave hope. Coach flow like spoke. Dan Marino still a GOAT. But to a man on go. Watch to a man throw. Bust to a man scope. Bust to a man dishes that we never ever seen before. Fans up, let's win. Boy, I'm ready for a ring. Maybe 3, 4, 5, 6. It's damn week, use 10.
I know the whole city riding. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter column. Whole squad been trained to go. Vince for life, we throw the foe. Singing this just to welcome bro. To a time, to a time. Time to grind, time to shine. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time. Time to grind, time to shine. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time.
So low, so low, so low, deep. So low, so low, so low, deep.
We got some canes over here. Relax and take notes while I step in. Ain't no question. I've been repping. See my squad ballin', that's a blessing. I'm texting with my homies from that West End Zone crew. Say they taking shots, told me roll through. I told you about that orange and green. We click tight, big bites, we destroy your team. Make the world view our games like a horror scene. Stuff opponents in a can like Goya beans. I mean, representing for the team. Love the city though. You can't get connected with us. Check your signal. Infamous with that swag. It's original. The copycats could copy that, but we go get some more. No gay, no Seminole. We let it stay, but in this state we is the general. Salute. Coral gave us around the world. We don't have a limit. We read that you from the streets to the academics. Get some canes over here. Get some canes over here. Get some canes over here. Throwing U's up. How we do our thing over here. Get some canes over here. Get some canes over here. Get some canes over here. Throwing U's up. How we do our thing over here.
Who we do please is a hurricane. You ain't got that work, you can't serve the canes. I know you been watching, we been hurting things. Where that crown at, homie, we them dirty canes. We gon' get that title, what that purdy ring. Gotta turn over chain for every team. Green and orange on my back, yeah, the foreigners back. I'm scoring while you roaring like a lion getting shot. ¿Qué pasó, papi? Tú no puedes conmigo. Argentino de principio, huracán en mi equipo. Got the passion like Sebastian when I'm rapping, that's a fact. Got that 7-6 jersey for the legend, one sack, yeah.
Get some canes over here. Get some canes over here. Get some canes over here. Throwing U's up. How we do our thing over here. Get some canes over here. Get some canes over here. Get some canes over here. Throwing U's up. How we do our thing over here.
We got some canes over here and we bout that. Solo D and them ballin' boys, yo, we got that. No good chillin' in the cut, hard rock pack. And if you hating on them canes, better stack. It's the state of the MIA. The U is back, what them haters gotta say. Them hurricanes, we be ballin' all day. Turn over chain, got the people going crazy.
Now whoop whoop, it's the sound so you know who it is. They counting finals ballin' like the U up in here. Gold teeth, grillin', chillin', Solo D what it is. We got the turn up chain, gang up in here. Cause it's a UM thing, orange and green is the gear. We coming to you HD, so it's crispy clear. Now put them U's in the sky, don't stand and chill and let them know if they don't know we got some canes up in here.
Get some canes over here. Get some canes over here. Get some canes over here. Throwing U's up. How we do our thing over here. Get some canes over here. Get some canes over here. Get some canes over here. Throwing U's up. How we do our thing over here.
Canes, we be ballin' all day. Canes, we be ballin' all day. Canes, we be ballin' all day. Them hurricanes, we be ballin' all day.
Who that?
So low, so low, so low, deep. So low, so low, so low, deep.
Hey guys, I'm Danny Johnson, CEO at TPP, The Positive Porpoise.
I'm Jason Miller from Fins Up SoCal Fan Club.
I'm Scott Howell from Atlanta Dolphin Club.
Mark Angelo, NorCal Dolphin Club.
And you're listening to Clock Blockers, Miami fans' #1 morning show.
Run it, 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 run it.
What is going on, everybody? It is your boy, Stephen D. Having a little bit of technical difficulty problems this morning, but that is okay because I am live and I'm here with you. What's going on, baby? It is your boy, Stephen D, live on this terrific Tuesday. Super excited to be here with y'all. I was trying to get some new headphones to work, and obviously they didn't want to work correctly. They were for a minute, but I don't know what happened, but that's all right. I'm here now. I'll have to test it out another time, some other way. Hope you all had a good night. Hope you all enjoyed the show yesterday. I hope you're getting ready to enjoy the show today. It's going to be a wonderful show. We have, it's Terrific Tuesday, and Terrific Tuesday means one thing, Wade O, and we're going to bring Wade on here in a minute. But before we do that, I need to remind y'all a few housekeeping rules. Number one, hit that like button. Have you not hit that like button? I need y'all to hit that thing already. Seriously, go hit it. I'm not playing with y'all. Go hit that like button. Number two, subscribe. Have you guys subscribed to the channel yet? Come on, subscribe. Too many people on here not to have more subscribers. We want to grow this thing. And you know how we help grow this thing is by sharing the content. So if you guys want to hit share, go to your Facebook or your Instagram or your Twitter or your whatever, text messages. Share with your Dolphins friends and family. Hey, guys, check out this Miami Fan Morning Show. It's awesome. It's amazing. It's got this guy named Stephen D. He's a pretty handsome guy. He knows what he's talking about from time to time. And he's got guys like Wade O. And he's got, some of the best lineup in the world on the podcast network, from TD to Doug to K Flexen. He's got Spanish-speaking podcasts. He's even got the Freak Show. I mean, come on. And then not to mention my boy Wade O. Again, I'm going to keep bringing Wade O's name up today. He's going to get sick and tired of hearing me say about his name. But that's all right, too. Look, it's going to be a fun day today. If you guys want to sign up to become a member, like my man Stetson, who's in the building, as well as Chef Zhu. Who else is in the building? That Big Time Miami Football Talk. Sign up to become a member today. If you guys are already members, hit your little emojis. Let people know. Emojis. Emojis. Let people know what's going on today. Let people know what being part of the Finlaw family is like. Because I believe it's absolutely amazing, just like you guys, just like this show. So sign up to become a member today. It's absolutely awesome. Please go do that. Also, if you guys want to donate to the channel and help the channel grow, it definitely helps. We got a lot of things that we want to do. And we do that with you guys, with all you guys, right? So what happens is if you guys want to donate to the channel, there's 3 different ways to do it. First way is through the super chat, okay? Right above. There we go. Super chat. And there's 3 steps to use the super chat. Step number 1, down at the bottom, you see this little $sign. Click the $sign. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to hit super chat or super sticker. You're going to pick which one you want to use. And then when you click which one, you're going to go over and you're going to put the amount in. And that is the best way. Donating to the channel helps the channel grow. It goes out to being able to put new and amazing content and updated content. We have a lot of things that we're trying to do here. And look, there's just a lot of things we want to do. So I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. It's going to be absolutely amazing because you guys are absolutely amazing. So I appreciate anytime you guys donate, even if it's $1, it all helps. All right. And if you guys don't want to do it up there, we also have PayPal and we also have Cash App. MSM Podcast Network, using those 2 platforms. MSM Podcast Network. So, guys, one more time, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, join, share, donate, whatever it is, help the channel grow. And as always, we try to have today goals. So let's get to 100 likes today. We're at 15 likes. Can we get to 100? Can we get 85 more likes today? And can we get 25 single donations? Let's go. We can do it. we can do it with your help. So let's go. Let's make it happen. Let's become a team, and let's come together. Now, as always, every Tuesday from here to eternity, as far as I'm concerned, this man will be joining us. Hopefully he'll get up on time next time. He needs to, this is clock blockers. He should use an alarm clock, right? He should use an alarm clock. That's what he should do. Look, I'm going to give him a little bit of crap, and I'm sure he's going to bring it right back. But without further ado, I want to add my friend to the program. You guys know him, and maybe you love him, but if you don't, you'll learn to. I'm talking about my man, Wade O. What's up, Wade?
What you mean maybe, man?
No, I mean maybe. I don't know if they love you yet.
It's all right, man. We're allowed to be wrong here sometimes.
No, that's all right. That you are correct about that. How's it going, man? How's your Tuesday? How was your weekend? What did you do without admitting any crimes? What did you do? Because I know you.
Well, that about sums up all I can say right there. No, I mean I got to watch that Milwaukee Bucks game. I think
I decided responding to your text was just the best thing for me, to not have to respond to what you had said about Milwaukee. I was wrong. Is that what you want to hear, Wade? I was wrong. I said Phoenix in 5. Obviously, that hasn't happened. But hey, tonight, 9:00, Game 6. We'll see. We'll see if Phoenix can pull it out and make it a Game 7.
We will. I mean, Booker really stepped up in the last game, but Antetokounmpo, man, he's just too good. The kid's too good.
The kid is real good. And, it's funny. I don't think he showed up in the first 2 games, but he has showed up in every game since then. But not only that, the supporting cast has too. If you look at what's going on right now in the NBA Finals, you'll see, guys like True Holiday and who else is up there that's been stepping up real good? Chris Middleton. These guys have been stepping up big.
I think you hit it on the head with Holiday, man. Holiday's been – that's not the guy I remember on the Sixers. Figure that.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. I want to give a big shout-out to Miami Football Talk. Said hit that like button, guys. Don't forget, you just tweeted the link. And also Flipside Fishing said, you should just share the page. Awesome. Like it. See, I got the best fans in the world, man. You guys are awesome. Stetson said hit that like button. Anthony Manzano says, hi, Stephen and Wade. What's up? What's up, my guy? How are you? So let me ask you, does Phoenix pull out the win tonight or no?
I want to say no, man. I want to say the Bucks just go home. Phoenix might get it tonight, but I still think the Bucks should take it serious.
Look, I hope that Phoenix wins tonight. I want to see a Game 7. This is what's going to happen. You have to shut down Giannis. If you shut down Giannis, you have a chance at winning Game 6. If you don't shut down Giannis and he ends up dropping a 40-burger on him, well, Milwaukee's about to get a championship. So, I mean, that's what I think is going to happen tonight. We're going to tune in to find out. But I'm sure that if Milwaukee ends up winning, I'll get a text from a lot of different people. You said Phoenix in what? How many games? 5? Yeah, all right. That won't be the first time I was wrong. And it won't be the last. But that is okay. Let's see here. What else is going on? Also, man, did you watch any of the UFC fights a couple weeks ago?
Are you talking about the McGregor ones a couple weeks ago, or are you talking about this past weekend?
Did you watch any from this past weekend? And I know you looked at the McGregor fight.
No, I haven't, man. There wasn't really anybody I was interested in watching on the card. I'm not the biggest UFC guy. I like traditional boxing a little better, but it's hard to turn down, when some of the really high level guys are fighting. But there was nobody on the card this week that really piqued my interest. The UFC, they did a really smart thing during the whole COVID thing. The way they amped up the fight. Now I don't think we're ever going to go another Saturday night without having a UFC fight, but that means the competition isn't as good and all,
Yeah, definitely. I totally get that. So, all right. Well, then I guess the real question is, let's get right into the Dolphin talk this morning. So I want to talk to you I want Wade to talk to you. This is going to be your show today again. If you guys want to talk to Wade or myself or put your 2 cents worth into, what's going on right now in Miami football land, and I have to say it's going to be very interesting. A lot of news kind of broke yesterday. The rumor mill started gearing up, and the rumor mill is Deshaun Watson's going to be on the move. His legal troubles he's settling all those legal troubles, and he's going to go away, and it'll be very interesting to see. What are your thoughts on the situation with Deshaun Watson and the Miami Dolphins potentially?
So two different answers there. Number one, as far as Watson's concerned, man, I mean, maybe he settled it all. It's hard to imagine with all those counts. I think it was up to 30 counts at one point or something like that. Like, it's hard to imagine with all that going on.
Well, there's a lot of rumors right now stating that all these are getting settled out of court, and that the league has already said behind closed doors, as long as there's no official charges that come up and everything is settled out of court, that they won't do anything. Like
this is my problem with the league, man. Like I'm wholly against a personal conduct policy. Like what happens away from the NFL, right? What I mean by that is away from the field, away from the team, away from the press conferences, blah, blah. We're not talking about a couple of years ago, a lot of people had issues with the anthem stuff. That was happening at the stadiums, at the field. I'm talking about when these guys do stuff in the privacy of their own home or whatever it is. I don't believe that there should be some additional repercussions from the NFL. And you see how wildly inconsistent it is. The Ben Roethlisberger thing a couple of years ago, the police found no evidence. The girl admitted she was lying, and all the NFL did was lower his suspension. But in this Deshaun Watson case, he can just go settle outside of court, and there's going to be no punishment whatsoever. It's a crazy, inconsistent thing, and I really think it should be completely abolished. If you do something on the field, at the stadium, whatever it is, I feel you. But if you have an issue of your own with your family, with whoever, outside of the NFL, outside of the team, all that nonsense, we have a justice system for that,
So this is where we're going to disagree. If I am employed by an employer, all right, a lot of big employers, I'm not talking about small ones, but a lot of big employers, and I get arrested for drunk driving and I get a DUI or DWI, I'm getting fired. That happens a lot. So I think there should be some.
I'll say this to that, man. Different employers have different things. I can tell you, I worked for a top 40 company that wasn't the case. But just because it is the case in a lot of them, that doesn't make it right. You know what I mean? Just saying another company does this, that they're wrong too. I think, in my opinion. But I guess where I'm going with this is the fact that Watson's a big name. He's a young kid, MVP candidate, sells a lot of jerseys, whatever, is going to help him here. Whereas if this was a no-name player, I bet the NFL wouldn't be saying something like that behind closed doors.
The NFL already would have handed down a suspension. If this
of course. Dude, look at the Ray Rice thing. The Ray Rice thing is the perfect example of how sleazy the NFL is here. And
the NFL there was video evidence of Ray Rice doing his.
Let me get where I'm going here. Number one, I don't care what anybody says out there. The reason Ray Rice never came back from that is because he was already going downhill as a player. His last year in the league, he averaged 3.9 yards a carry. But this is where I'm going with this. The NFL is so sleazy with this policy. They punished Ray Rice. They had the video. They knew what happened. And then 6 months later, or I don't know how many months later it was months later, the video comes out to the public, and the NFL punishes him again for the same thing. They literally extended
Ray Rice sued the NFL and won, by the way, on that.
Yeah, but this is my point. It's wildly inconsistent. It doesn't make any sense. And as a fan, as a football fan, I want to see the best product on the field. That should be what you're trying to provide me.
But if you screw up off the field, there has to be consequences.
Why from the NFL?
Say that again?
Why?
Because I don't want my offensive coordinator or one of my offensive coaches sniffing cocaine off strippers in the offseason on camera. If that's what you decided, bro, if that's what he decided to do in his personal time, that's
he definitely did do in his personal time.
But you got caught.
But I don't.
And so there's legal repercussions when you get caught.
There's legal repercussions. I 100% agree. There are legal repercussions for breaking the law. I don't understand what, like, we have double jeopardy in the Constitution for a reason. The government can't.
Should Robert Kraft, without getting into details, should Robert Kraft been suspended?
I don't believe so. No, that's what I'm saying right now. Like, it's not. He's not. Now he's a Patriot, so fuck him. But like, I don't think that just because he's not a player, he's known or whatever it is. But I get, we can have a whole conversation about this, but where I'm going with this is, so number one, even if we got a hold of Watson, I wouldn't feel comfortable because God only knows the NFL can get something can come out and the NFL can completely change their mind and throw the book at him. Number two, I really don't think that's the market we're in right now. Like, we're not looking for that.
You know what? Real quick, I want to pause you. Let's say that happens. That is a very good scenario. Deshaun settles out of court.
Right.
Mm-hmm. There's NDAs that are signed, whatever the case is. And 2 months later, video comes out of him doing what he was doing. And it's
or he does it again.
Or he does it again. Well, let's not say he does it again. Let's say video comes out of him doing what he was doing. And it's really bad. What happens at that point then? Because there is that scenario of that could occur.
Yeah, I think it's, again, the NFL has shown no consistency on their personal conduct policy. They show no really even remorse when they get called out, or they don't even answer when they get called out for this stuff, quite honestly. Like, all they care about is making money, which is why everyone hates to get out and he still has a job, which is why, if they're a quarterback, because the NFL has marketed quarterbacks to people think that they're somehow this other thing, right? That's why every store you walk into, it's jerseys of quarterbacks. Every red zone show, it's highlights. It's receivers and quarterbacks connecting for 60-yard bombs, right? That's what the NFL is trying to sell. So, no, I mean, Tom Brady gets caught cheating, lies, denies, destroys the evidence, refuses to give them evidence. He gets less games than a guy like Ben Roethlisberger who's accused of something and chick admits she's lying.
NFL being inconsistent in suspensions, they only suspended Brady for 3 games for Deflategate. And they don't have the same rules for coaches. They never suspended Belker. Well,
look at Sean Payton. They had no evidence.
Suspended for an entire year.
And it wasn't just him. Right?
An entire season.
The D coordinator, Greg Williams, was suspended indefinitely. And there were fines and stuff.
Which, by the way, he was back a year later.
Yeah. Not with the Saints, though. But, hey, man, it's extremely, like, to me, if we're to talk about, like, what should warrant some pretty severe punishments, we talk about the sanctity of the game. Cheating in the game is what should have the harshest punishments, and it's like the exact opposite. Like, the Patriots got caught filming again. Was it the year before last year at the Bengals game or something? Like, nothing happened. The obviously Deflategate thing, but there's been like countless times where we find out after the fact players are doing this, that, and the third, and it's like a slap on the wrist compared to, oh no, you got a DUI. And
you know what? And you bring up a very good point. It's because NFL is worried about their marketing and image when it comes to their product on the field. And God forbid the Patriots and Tom Brady at that time were not on the field.
And think about this. The exact language is conduct detrimental to the league. Now, people could feel how they want about what I'm about to say, but the guy that caused more conduct detrimental to the league than anybody was Kaepernick. You had people burning jerseys and canceling season tickets after 30 years and all this other stuff, right? But there were a bunch of other players. What do you, about what?
We're not going to get into the Kaepernick situation.
Well, I'm not. Again, this isn't about how you feel about it personally. This is about what detrimented the league the most, right? Because all the league is
all you're saying is the language of how the NFL states how they.
Right. What I'm saying is he cost them the most money, right? Like if there was something,
but somebody could make the argument saying the NFL did. That's a bad analogy.
No. You're not hearing what I'm saying. Again, this isn't about whether you agree or disagree with him. What I'm saying is there were people, because of what happened, that were refusing to watch games, ratings dropped, sales dropped. I mean, you can go see all this stuff, right? And the NFL Like,
it was detrimental to the league. I get what you're saying.
By the definition, right? But like that's what I'm kind of talking about though. Like stuff that actually happens on the field or near the league and stuff like that is like I could understand it for them to react this way. But when Adrian Peterson hits his kid in again, I don't know the story allegedly, right? When Adrian Peterson hits his kid in March at his home in a different state than his team even plays in the middle of nowhere, not wearing an Adrian Peterson jersey. The only reason that stuff even draws attention to itself the way it does now is because we know they're going to get suspended. Like if these guys weren't going to get suspended, if the only time they had a risk of actually missing games is if they were like in jail for what they did, we wouldn't care.
Let me respond to your statement. So what I'll say is the NFL has a very horrible what's the word I want to use? Image, I guess, from the standpoint of what constitutes the severity of a suspension, because it's all over the board. And I'm just specifically making examples here. If I hit my wife, or I hit my child, or I get a DUI, or I illegally solicit prostitution, or whatever the case is, I'm not going to get suspended that much. Or I might get suspended that much. If I kill dogs, I'm going to get suspended for 2 years. If I, look, I'm just, we're playing devil's advocate here, right? Like,
I got to touch on the dog thing real quick. So my beautiful pit bull's right here watching me do this. So just so everyone fully understands, because I don't think a lot of people do with that Michael Vick thing. Number one, if you're a little younger, Michael Vick was a superstar, right? Like he was the NFL. He was the guy that made Atlanta relevant. I mean, there's the old joke.
He was on the cover of Madden.
Dude, no matter what you've been through, it's not as bad as trying to chase Michael Vick in Madden 2004. Like, trust me when I tell you, it's good. But also, the FBI had decided that this was like the new thing they were going to do, focus on dogfighting, right? Like, there's a reason Vick went to jail longer for dogfighting than anyone in the history of the United States, is because they happened to launch this giant investigation on this new thing they were going to focus on. And when they had their first big bust, it turns out the most popular guy in football happened to be at the top. Like, it was a crazy sequence of events. And like people bring it up all the time, like, oh, he got suspended for the time. Well, he did 2 years in jail.
I was about to say he served 2 years in a federal prison too.
Right, which again was way longer than anyone had ever been to jail for anything like that in the U.S. before. And then when he came out, then he was like additionally punished by the NFL. Like, that's insane to me. Like, the dude was supposed to be 2 years in jail for his crime, and then the NFL thinks like, oh, well, that ain't good enough. We're going to give you a harsher punishment. Like, that's nuts. Yeah. You know what I mean?
All right, we got our first caller of the day. If you want to come on to the show this morning, give your 2 cents worth. We're not going to do necessarily a panel today. I'm going to try to bring you all on individually because I just want to, get your thoughts or hear what you guys have to say. Try to keep the language clean if you can. And let's go. Let's take a look. All right, we have Tony. Tony, what's going on, man?
Yeah, Wade, I totally agree with you. The NFL is so inconsistent with that personal conduct policy, and the perfect example is that they had no evidence for Sean Payton, but they suspect he had to know about the Bounty Gate situation, right? You think
There's no way he didn't know.
Well, yeah, there was no way he didn't know.
Here's the thing.
He can't put his head in the sand when one of his coaching staff was doing something like that. So,
yeah, but Sean Payton also had no black, like there was no negativeness around him. That was the first time any negativeness, any black cloud came around him. Wait, what were you going to say?
Well, you just remember this too. Like when we say there's no evidence, we're talking about they didn't have evidence of the program. Like, do I think it probably happened? Yeah. Like, but
I know that it happened.
They had like handwritten. Like, it was so crazy. I remember a lawyer talking about like what the NFL was trying to present, and they were like, "Okay, show us like the paperwork you have," and they tried to present like a handwritten copy of the paper, like crazy stuff that would never hold up in court. So like they didn't really have the evidence on Greg Williams then either. What they had was Jeremy Shockey's testimony, right, and a couple For the Peyton thing, like Steve said, like everyone's always looked at him as like a squeaky clean, great offensive mind. I still think he is that guy. So do I think that it happened? I think I do. Do I think that he probably knew about it? Probably, but the system we live in shouldn't be probably if I think so, right? It should be innocent until proven guilty. So, I mean, that's how America does it. I guess the NFL has their own way.
We use the example, Belichick. He never got suspended. You think he definitely knew? Do you think he definitely knew about Spygate?
He's the one who was the coordinator for it.
Listen, I believe
there's nothing that goes on. Hold on. There's nothing that goes on in that damn building up in New England without that man not knowing it.
I'm going to tell you right now, someday somebody's going to write a book, and I hope it's Chandler Jones or somebody that he's pissed off over the years. And we're going to find out stuff they've been doing that we never even heard of. Like, you know, and listen, I understand, like people say the argument, well, they only really got caught for X, Y, Z, a lot of other stuff. Though that dude has been so, I hesitate to use the word, but brilliant over the years in terms of bending the rules, but not breaking them to the point where I can't count how many seasons they've literally changed the rules after the season was over because he was doing something that everyone was like, come on, bro, you should know better than that. But it's technically legal. So, and then they changed the rules immediately after. Like, I mean, he was the one championing the thing, trying to get them to add points if the opening kickoff went through the field goal.
All right, real quick. Delusional Patriots fan said, nah, it was the ball boy. Bro, the Patriots fan.
The ball boy.
My guy, if you truly believe that, you need to come on here and talk about it. Because you're outside your mind. You think a ball boy willingly in the Patriots organization did that without anybody explaining to him, hey, you can do – no way in hell. Get out of here.
And which time is he talking about? Is this the one against the Bengals, or is this the one against the Jets years ago?
No, this is again. Didn't they
Cleveland
say this happened during the Super Bowl or the playoffs or something like that? Like,
I mean, it was something like that. And
dude, they were recording the Bengals the one year. The Bengals are the worst team in the league that year.
And by the way, they got caught filming the Bengals. I guarantee you they were doing it against other teams.
That's probably because one of the Bengals players was not even paying attention to practice and saw some guys.
Hey, go ahead, Tony.
And I was asking a question in the chat. I'm not sure if you saw it. With the Reason and TD were talking about this on their streams, and they were saying there might be a hypothetical three-team trade for Xavien and Deshaun. Deshaun comes here, and X goes to another team. What team would you trade him to? A team in the AFC, or will you actually trade him to a team in the NFC where you don't have to see him all the time and stuff like that? As a Dolphins fan.
That's a great question, Tony. And I actually did mention this a little bit yesterday, and I have mentioned it on my channel before. What I have said is that the Miami Dolphins, there's never been a 3-team trade in the history of the NFL, okay, that I'm aware of, and I don't think that there has been. So if this happens, number one, it sets a precedence. Let's get that straight. Number two, what is the market for somebody like Deshaun Watson? Now, what he should be worth is 2 first-round draft picks. Easy. But there's no way you're getting that for him in this league. You're lucky if you're even going to get 1 for him. So now the reality is Xavien Howard's probably worth more than just 1-round draft pick. So what else are you going to do? So if a team is just going to trade straight up, wait, I'm going to put you on mute for a minute. If this team is going to trade straight up for Xavien Howard, what's going to happen is you're going to see Xavien get traded for a first and some, average player, which again to me is not worth it. And then in order to get Deshaun Watson, Deshaun is easily, before this, Houston wanted 4 first-round picks. That's what they wanted for him, which was outrageous. and probably what he's worth. That's the sad part, right? He's a 25, 26-year-old quarterback.
Remember, wait.
Well, hold on. Two things. Number one, there's no way any team's paying that. Number two, especially now after the whole incident. So now what's going to happen is number one, if a 3-team trade were to happen, to answer your question, this is what's going to happen. And Howard, I think you're going to see a combination of Howard, Christian Wilkins, and Devontae Parker involved in the trade, right? Because that allows cap space to go out the door, as well as we don't have to give up any draft capital or as much draft capital. And in return, Houston's not really going to care too much about players because they are in a rebuild form. So let's say we find a team, let's say the Green Bay Packers, right? Green Bay says, you know what, we'll trade, and I'm not throwing Aaron Rodgers in this situation. I think Green Bay is a great destination for Xavien Howard. So Green Bay says, I'll give up our first-round draft pick. We send it to Miami, and maybe another first-round draft pick goes to, not to Miami, to Houston, and in return, Miami gets Deshaun Watson, and Green Bay gets Devontae Parker and Xavien Howard. Christian Wilkins goes to Houston, along with maybe another draft pick that Miami has to give up. Let's say a second rounder. I don't know. I could maybe another first. I don't know, but I could 100% see something like that happening. I don't know how you feel about that, but that's a scenario that I could see possibly playing out. But I think it's very difficult to say what 3 teams are going to be used, because I think Xavien Howard would fit into almost any playoff contending team. The question is, who's got the draft capital?
I think being that he's from Texas, how about Dallas? But I don't think Dallas has the cap room, right?
No, and they just got what's his face, J.C. Horn, right? Didn't they just get J.C. Horn, and they got Trayvon Diggs? I could be wrong about J.C. Horn.
J.C. Horn's in Carolina. They got Micah Parsons.
Okay, so they got Michael Parsons, and they had Trayvon. They have the Diggs' brother.
Yeah, they Trayvon Diggs a second-round pick the year before. So real quick, so there have been a couple 3-team trades. The Herschel Walker trade was a 3-team trade. The Eric Dickerson one. So there's been a few, but it's definitely not common. And I even kind of got lost the way you were even dispersing players out there right now. I don't think Miami does anything for Watson. It didn't make sense to me the whole time. The rumor was floating around before. I don't know if you guys saw this. There was an article on Pro Football Talk. I think it was late last night. It came out about something weird with Fitzpatrick saying he purposely stopped taking snaps at practice to help Tua, and it's a really weird. Fitzpatrick has turned weird since he got benched last year, man. I mean, to be fair, he probably was always a little weird. But good luck to him out in Washington. Do what you do. I think Washington's going to have a good offense this year, but they'll probably end up drafting a QB soon. But yeah, I don't see it, man. I think that I've said this a couple times. The price for X should be starting at 2 first-round picks. That's what the price for Jalen Ramsey and Jamal Adams was. Deshaun Watson's weird because you had the knee injury, you have the off-the-field stuff, you have a huge salary. I just don't see there's a stat, I think I told you guys this before. No team has ever won a Super Bowl when their quarterback has accounted for 12% or more of their salary cap, right? So unless you have a team like a Denver who's already in a very good spot, right, and they can give up, whatever they can to get a hold of Watson, make the run, win a Super Bowl.
Elway's going to make his move.
But for who? Is it going to be Rodgers? Is it going to be Watson?
Either
I think – I think Rodgers, to be honest, this is my prediction for Aaron. I think he goes to the West Coast, maybe to Vegas. To Vegas.
No, Rodgers doesn't play, or he plays for Green Bay. And somebody I heard yesterday, I want to say Reason might have even told me. I forget who told me, but that he just bought a new house in Green Bay. Who's buying a brand new house if you're not thinking about moving?
So real quick there, since we brought up the Raiders, their president just resigned.
Relationship with the front.
I mean, I get it. I get it. But why would you buy a brand new house? If that is true, If they're buying the new house with Green Bay is true, he's staying in Green Bay.
Yeah. Yeah, and to be honest, this is what like I said, I would rather trade X to the NFC where I'm not going to be seeing him all the time. I don't want to be playing X all the time, like all the.
I would agree with your statement if it was more of an offensive skilled player, like maybe a big time running back or especially a quarterback. When it comes to defense, I really don't care where they send him to as long as it's not the Jets, Bills, or Patriots. As long as it's not those three teams, send him wherever the hell.
Real quick, I just found an article about his new mansion. Him and his girlfriend, I guess, got it. They got it back in December of 2019. So
okay.
Before but I wildly disagree, which I would much rather see an offensive player than a defensive player. Defense wins games, man. Defense wins championships. Offense sells jerseys. Like, I don't want to index anywhere near me. Like, I mean, no, let me rephrase that. I want him near me. I want him lined up right across from Byron Jones. I don't want him to do
and I want to get that straight too. I don't want to get rid of him. Hey, Tony, any last thing before I get you off here, man? I appreciate you calling in this morning.
Oh yeah, actually I have and this actually was I think Reason or TD was talking about this on their panel last night or the day during the day. TD was talking about that apparently 3 front office people and 2 front office people and Flores actually wanted Herbert over Tua not because of the injury issue. Oh, it was Allen. For me, I think it was Allen, McKenzie, and Marino with Flores wanted Herbert, but since the owner of the team wanted Tua, they decided on Tua.
I'll let Tony, man. Thank you for asking the question and coming on this morning, man. And make sure you keep watching every morning, bro. Thank you so much.
Okay, have a good day.
You too, bro. Go ahead and answer his thing, Wade.
So a couple of things. Like, when you look at these two guys, and I historically went back and forth between these two guys for a while. And when you look at Herbert, you see the prototypical NFL quarterback, right? You don't see that with Tua. And what I mean, I'm not talking about the style of player. I'm talking about physically looking at him, right? Herbert's taller. He's lean for his size. You know, he's got the haircut. Whatever. I don't know what that means, but he got it, bro. Huh? When you look at Tua, like, you see a shorter guy. I mean, I don't know many Hawaiian players in the league at all, right? Like, Herbert comes from that California side where Rodgers and these guys come from. Like, I could understand why somebody would go back and forth between the two, because a lot of teams did. Like, forget Joe Burrow for a second. Like, when that season started, Tua and Herbert were the top 2 guys on the board. So I don't know who said what or what, but, like, at the end of the day, these guys were 2 high level. Like, they were 1A and 1B. You know what I mean?
Here's what I believe, okay? There is no way Stephen Ross has his hand in the honey pot. He is writing the checks and staying the hell away from football decisions. I don't believe in any way, shape, or form. Now, what I will say is maybe the Dolphins wanted to execute the Watson trade, and he said, from a public standpoint, from a marketing standpoint, don't pull the trigger yet. Let's wait to see how this thing plays out. That I believe the owner said.
I'll say this, man.
Do I think that he said you need to draft Tua over Herbert, or I'm going to drop you? No way he said that. If they wanted Herbert over Tua, we would have had Herbert over Tua.
I think there's another possibility here, man, and I don't think it's the Deshaun Watson trade. I think that they were nervous that they might not have a choice. I think they thought there's a very good possibility that a team trades up ahead of them, right, and they're left with either Tua or Herbert. And I think there's perfect evidence of this. Chan Gailey was our offensive coordinator before that draft. We brought him in before that draft. Chan Gailey is Justin Herbert's godfather.
You know why that logic goes out the windows? Because they were sitting there at 5, Wade, and had a chance to either draft Tua or Herbert. That was their choice.
At 5 they did. But remember, the Lions picked before them. That year they took Jeffrey Okudah. A lot of teams thought they might go in a different direction, right? Burrow kind of came out of nowhere. He was that one season guy, right? He didn't have a long track record like before that. There's a chance that somebody took, Tua or Herbert instead of him. And I'm drawing a blank right now because I don't remember the other 3 teams that picked before us that year. But a lot of people thought the Chargers were going to try to trade up. Remember, there were mock drafts with
Cincinnati
Jordan Love
was
going in the top 5. Like, what? Jordan Love.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you that logic goes out the window, in my opinion, because at 5, they had a chance to either get Herbert or Tua. They had their shot. They chose Tua. I don't want to hear.
I get you. I'm not second guessing the Tua pick at all. All I'm saying is I think there was a chance.
Not what I'm saying. That's not my point. My point of my discussion here, to answer Tony's question or remark, is there is no way in hell that Stephen Ross has his hand in this thing about that. He doesn't. Get that out of your heads. Listen to me. He is not Jerry Jones. He is not Al Davis. He wants to win, but I guarantee you on everything, in my heart of hearts, he is not making football decisions at that center. And if he is, again, won't be the first time I'm wrong, but I just don't see it.
We talked about this before. I think he's meddled enough that he realized it's not going to work anymore, and I think that's how we got Corinne Flores. And by the way, I'm biting my tongue over here. I just said I couldn't remember many Hawaiian players. It wasn't Koanisi from Hawaii?
Yes.
I thought so, right? I know he lives out there now.
And Paul Soliai, I believe.
Yeah, Soliai, man. I miss that guy. Remember him at
Dude, the very first time I ever met Paul Soliai, it was Tannehill had just gotten drafted. It was the preseason. It was in Carolina. And it was the first or second preseason game Tannehill ever started. And we're in the hotel lobby, and I'm getting autographs. And I have this helmet and everything there, and it was pretty awesome. And all of a sudden, this guy taps me on the shoulder, and I turned around, and the guy, I'm looking up, and the guy's humongous. Dude, Paul Soliai. So I shook his hand. I'm a big guy, as you know. He ate my hand. His hand ate my hand, bro.
One of my first experiences down at the stadium when I had enough money to actually get to the stadium was meeting Jake Long. And he was about a big guy. Jake Long made the rest of our offensive linemen look little.
I know, 100%.
Hey, I'm a big Penei Sewell fan, right? But he don't play quarterback. You're missing kind of the point of what I said. Devon Best, man. Devon Best played in Hawaii. Now, I'm not sure if he was actually from Hawaii. But he did play at University of Hawaii. But do you guys remember Devon Best? He was one of the best third down slot guys in football. And we traded him. And I was like, what's going on? Why did we trade him? I couldn't figure out why we traded him. And then the next week he gets a DUI in Cleveland. And a week after that, he's taking naked pictures of himself on the internet.
Yeah, it was all craziness. It was all outrageous and craziness.
There we go. Mariota. Mariota is from Hawaii. He's a quarterback. Thank you.
I want to say he went to the same high school as Tua.
Well, I know he went to Oregon, and Tua originally wanted to go to Oregon because of Mariota.
Yeah, I think they went to the same high school. All right, look, if you guys want to come onto the show, I want to hear from you. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Look, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. The trade rumors with Deshaun Watson, the trade rumors with Xavien Howard. What's going to happen this football season? Just so much stuff to talk about. We're 54 days away from week 1, which I'm super excited about. And training camp is right around the corner. I want to say it starts this weekend or Monday or Tuesday. So it'll be fun from that standpoint too. So come on, come on to the show. Want to hear from you. Just want to get your thoughts. If you have any questions, ask questions. Well, I also have you guys up here. We got 24 people watching. Oh, excuse me. We got 34 people watching. We got 24 likes. Hit that like button. Wait, tell them to hit that like button.
Hit the like button. Hit the like button. And hey, I got something I forgot. I wanted to add this when my man Tony was on here a couple minutes ago. I don't see Aaron Rodgers getting to the Raiders, and it's because John Gruden, for whatever reason, it wants to ride and die with Derek Carr. I didn't believe it when he first got there. I didn't believe it the second year. I didn't believe it the third year. But for some reason, it's true. And if you guys want to have some fun, there is a website started by a Raiders fan. It's called Is Gruden Gone Yet? and it was started the day he signed his ridiculously big contract. And when you go there, it says no, very big at the top of the page. And then it has a countdown to the second of how much time is left on his contract. And then there's a fun little clock at the bottom that tells you how much money Gruden's made since you've been on the site. So he's made about $10 since I've been on the site. In the last 2 minutes.
That's too funny. That is
Fun
absolutely too funny. Anthony Steven, was Manti Te'o from Hawaii or California? Manti Te'o was from Hawaii. No, he was from Hawaii, yeah. He went to Notre Dame.
Right.
But his
Seau
family
was from Southern California. They said they had a Seau here, too.
Yeah. All right. Again, before Wade put his 2 cents worth in about is what's his name? Is Chuck? No, I wanted to say Chucky. Is Chucky fired yet? Make sure you guys hit that like button if you guys haven't done so already. Also, you guys can donate to the channel. Wade, put your fingers up so you know where they can go. Just point up. Just point up. You can go. No, a little bit. Come closer to the. We're gonna have to teach these things.
There's too many of these, man. Just look. You guys know where it is. Look above my head. Right. Find the one that you can scan with your phone. Probably the one with the money sign. You know what I mean?
Cash App. Use MSM Podcast Network or go to the Super Chat. Donate to the channel. It helps the channel grow. Let's go. Flipside Fishing. Where was his imaginary girlfriend from?
Detroit.
Got him. EM Dolphin in the building. Let's see here. If you're Rodgers, would you want to be a Raider? Rodgers, listen to my words. Rodgers is not getting traded.
Would I want to be?
Shout out to Chris Johnson
Vegas
for the $1.99 donation.
Thank you, Chris. Would I want to be in Las Vegas? Maybe. But here's the biggest thing. Davante Adams, I know you guys saw that a couple weeks ago, had talked about reuniting with his college quarterback, Derek Carr. So if Davante Adams went there, if Davante Adams went there, maybe. But then would Davante Adams go there if Rodgers was going? Because that defeats kind of the whole purpose
of him getting the hell away from Rodgers.
Right. You know, I mean, he may have, because Rodgers is a California guy, so I don't know if he has any animosity towards the Raiders or not. I mean, back then you grew up a Raiders fan or a Niners fan if you were in that area of California, so I have no idea. If I'm Rodgers, I don't care. Dude, I've got a Super Bowl ring. I've got a ton of money. I've got most of the record books. I mean, you know, I'm not one of those guys, but there's a lot of people that can make a real argument that he's one of the best quarterbacks ever, if not the best. I mean,
he's arguably in the discussion. And here's what I'll say. Green Bay Packers have been in this situation before with a guy by the name of Brett Favre. Maybe you remember him. All right. So they've been through this whole scenario before. They've had their star quarterback. They've had a young quarterback behind him. When do you make the switch? Right? The reality here is Aaron Rodgers is coming off an MVP season.
Not only an MVP season, I don't think enough people understand what he did last year. 48-10 touchdown to interception ratio. For those of you guys that aren't like stat guys, a 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio for a quarterback is pretty damn good. A 3-to-1 is amazing. He did a 4.8-to-1. Like, it's never been done. Like, it's an insane, efficient thing. Like, that this season is going to go down as like one of the best any quarterbacks ever had, and no one even remembers it just happened because he's not Patrick Mahomes.
Wade, Anthony says you sound far away. I wonder why that is. Is that because you're getting a new microphone?
Yeah, Steven's sending me a microphone, everybody. Thank you.
That's what I'm doing? No, I'm not. Do not get that twisted. Nuh-uh. I had to pay up for this bad boy. I got you.
Where you at? Solo, send me a microphone.
I like it. Chef Juice says, let's see here. What's good, big time? Saxman J. Will. Hey, I have missed you, Saxman J. Will. How you been?
Hey, I'm sorry, real quick. I screwed up because those numbers didn't even sound right to me. It was 48-5. It was almost a 10-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. I knew it was better than I just made it sound, and over a 70% completion percentage. Insanity.
Miami Football Talk. EM Dolphin. jump on the channel, brother, and talk about how it's a bad thing to trade for Watson, lose our draft picks and good players, so we have to start over, not to mention the money we don't have.
Everything you just said is true except the money. We have money.
Hey, well, if EM wants to get on and discuss this, I am not mad at him. I would love for everybody to get on. If you're interested in coming on, we're not doing a panel today, but just like a regular morning show on the radio, I want you to call in or come on, say hello, whatever you want to do, give your shout outs, ask your questions, give your thoughts. And I want to try to, go through as many people as I can. So let's go. Come on to the show. Anthony, Steven, during the year he was drafted, they were doing an interview with Aaron Rodgers, and they asked him who his favorite quarterback was, and he said Steve Young. So I'm assuming he's a 49ers fan. Talking about Aaron Rodgers, yes, he was a huge 49ers fan as a kid.
Yeah. I thought that was right. Just didn't want to speak.
I think that what you could see is you could definitely see what's the word I'm looking for? You could definitely see him making that switch. I just don't know if it happens. I don't see Aaron Rodgers getting traded. I don't think Green Bay is going to, Green Bay didn't, they only traded
Favre.
Yeah, they only traded Favre because they had to.
Well, remember, he retired.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but he retired playing chicken with them.
Yeah.
And then they had to trade him to the Jets. Remember, he had to play a year there before he went to Minnesota. And Green Bay was smart. They said if you decide to trade him to Chicago or Green Bay or Chicago, Detroit or Minnesota, that you will also have to give us another draft pick. If I'm correct, when that trade happened, the Jets also had to send Green Bay more draft picks, if I'm correct, which I don't think has ever happened in the history of the NFL.
By the way, my first game at Dolphin Stadium was Brett Favre's first game here with the Jets.
Oh, wonderful.
Who's the closest thing to Dan Marino in terms of mechanics accurate? Well, he just retired. It was Drew Brees.
Currently?
Ooh, that's tough.
Herbert showed a lot of poise and mechanics just like that.
Well, Herbert has a different kind of throwing. Like Herbert's.
I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying.
Herbert's very agile. I mean, Herbert might look the closest to him.
I'm thinking out loud. I'm thinking out loud, and he just looks like the part.
So yeah, oh man, Marino had a very quick release. He held the ball very high. But he also he had this beautiful arc on it, man. I don't see too many people with.
While you're thinking about that, I'm going to bring on a new caller for the morning, Dolphin Don. Dolphin Don, what's up, brother?
What's up? What's good, Stefan and Wade?
How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm hanging in there, brother. Hey, man, I gave a shout out to K Flex the last time I was on. I want to give a shout out to you, Stefan, for bringing me this deep into the Dolphins Nation. I've been a fan all my life, dude.
Yeah.
And so yeah, this is like the culmination of it, man.
Well, hey, look, man, I'm glad you're here on Clock Blockers, and I'm glad you watch the show every morning. You're always in the chat box. You're doing your thing, and it sounds like you've gotten to find some other people because of my channel, too, that also talk Dolphins content, so that's good.
Definitely. Yeah, well, I appreciate what you do, but you and Wade both, man. I want to throw some things out about X, man. I want to see what y'all think.
The floor is yours, my friend.
Well, I'm not afraid of losing him, and there's a couple of reasons. I know everybody loves X. I would like to see him stay, as a Dolphin too, but I'm not afraid of it because I've kind of bought into the Brian Flores defensive schema, if you will, because what he did in just a couple short years, we went from dog poo to where we are now, man. So I feel like hey. I trust the flow sets a little bit here, but I would be mad if he got traded to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh would be my worst spot. Minka Fitzpatrick. Oh my God!
That I would hate if he got traded there. That would suck.
There's a weird thing about Dolphins fans not liking the Steelers, man. I never understood it myself. Like, I don't have any animosity towards the Steelers. You know, Big Ben definitely fumbled in that game back in.
Honestly, it all started in '72. The Dolphins were undefeated and did not host the AFC Championship game. Pittsburgh did.
And we had the horrible hankies.
Yes,
we had that first. We did that. It was us.
We can't go around calling them horrible hankies, man. They did it better than that. They earned that one, bro.
Terrible towels. I love it.
Okay, I'll give them that. But
no,
hey, that's pretty good though.
So Don, check it out, man. When I yes, everything you're saying about Flores and the ability to run defense is true, but here and even in New England when he was running the defense there. The reason those defenses worked was because of the great covered corners they had on their teams. You know what I mean? Like you look at Gilmore, Revis, even Antonio Cromartie. You go before that, Asante Samuel. The reason those defenses worked was because of the great covered corners. So when you have those guys that you don't have to, worry about having extra people back there to be in a zone or whatever it is, that's what allows you to get kind of creative in the front seven. And while I do think Noah Igbinoghene is going to be great. There's four positions in the league that are extremely hard to replace, and that's why they end up being so valuable with draft picks, right? And that's an elite edge rusher, an elite corner, an elite left tackle, and an elite quarterback. It's very hard to replace those guys. That's why those players like Tunsil trade for 2 first-round picks. Jalen Ramsey trades for 2 first-round picks. If Aaron Rodgers or Watson was getting traded, we're talking about multiple first-round picks. It's going to be very hard for the defense to be as good without X. I mean, there's a reason he was the all-pro corner last year, right? If we did land those couple first-round picks, we got to spend them wisely if we're going to make up for it.
Well, you kind of saw where I was going there because I was going to say, hey, Noah was sitting there. We had Jonathan Taylor on the board, and I was like, hey, we're getting a running back. We're getting a runner. The Dolphins picked Noah Igbinoghene. I was like, what?
I think DeAndre Swift was even still there.
It was kind of what it was. Dolphin Don, is there anything else you want to say or shout out or ask before we let you go here, man?
No, just be blessed, everybody, and I hope everybody has a great day, man.
Hey, man, tell these people what they need to do, too, as far as liking the channel, hitting the like button, sharing the content. I'm going to give you the floor to tell these people what they need to be doing so they're not repeatedly hearing it from me.
For sure, man. If you want to enjoy your Dolphin fanship 100% to the max, you got to be a member. Join up in here and be with us, man. The fins up, y'all.
Dolphin Don, I couldn't have said it better myself, man. You're a hell of a guy. I don't care what they say about you. Be good, brother. I'll talk to you next time, man.
Back at you.
All right, man. Love Dolphin Don. Absolutely amazing. All right, going to bring in our next caller of the day. I feel like the old school morning show radio host. And now caller of the day is Ghost of Changali, Bubble Scream time. What's up, my guy?
It's sweet. All right, what's up, man? What's going on?
How's it going, man? How are you?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Can't complain. What's going on?
Hey, man. I am doing good, man. It's Tuesday. I'm here with Wado. Life is good. The floor is yours, man. What do you want to talk about this morning? What are your thoughts on what we've talked about, or ask a question, whatever you want to talk about?
Oh, whatever you guys are willing to ask me.
Well, look, man, I mean, I think the number one question this morning is, the rumor mill that kind of blew up yesterday on social media, the sandstorm that it became, that if Deshaun Watson settles out of court like it's projected it's going to happen, that the Dolphins are going to make a huge play at Deshaun Watson. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the thing is that, like, what Reason was saying the other day, I think the Dolphins are going to,
I know I hit you with a good one.
Okay. The thing is, like I said, hold on. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Caller, are you there?
Caller, are you there?
Who's screaming? Yeah. Sorry about that.
You're good, bro.
Like I was saying before, I know Chris Greer and Brian Flores, they've been monitoring the situation since the allegations came out back in March. Stephen Ross, as Reason told you guys, Stephen Ross had originally signed on the basically giving the Dolphins approval to trade for Deshaun Watson. But the thing was that when the allegations came out, Stephen Ross, didn't want to. He practically signed off the trade because he didn't want to deal with any of the public relations stuff. That was, you're right, the media storm that was going to come off the trade. I still believe that's still, relevant. I think if nothing gets resolved with these allegations and stuff, even if these allegations were to, be resolved and everything, and Deshaun Watson is clear to play football, I don't think Stephen Ross wants to deal with the public media storm, that comes with signing of Deshaun Watson. And another thing, he doesn't want to bring somebody who's going to divide the fan base between two stands and two haters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
he wants to keep the fan base united.
Two things. Number one, I appreciate your view on that. What I will say is two things. Number one, if there is no legal there's no legal ramifications out on the table, then I don't see him saying, all right, hey, I don't want to do this because I think that the media storm is going to be bad at that point. I think what will happen is he'll, if Greer and Flo want to execute that trade, they'll walk into his office and say, hey, look, this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to move forward. I don't think the only reason why Ross had any say of that was because of the off-field ramifications and how the public perception would be viewed of the Miami Dolphins. That's it. He's not necessarily getting involved in any on-field decisions otherwise than that. So I still could see Greer and Flo going up to Ross on this particular situation and saying, hey, look, this is the direction we're going to go. We think this is what's best for us. And Ross will make sure that we're prepared from it from a marketing and PR standpoint. Now, the other thing to go along with that is the second thing that you said was, oh man, what did you say? You said the PR, not the PR. What else did you say besides the PR?
The media storm, right? The media storm.
The media storm. No, the fan base. So the fan base, as much as Ross does want to have a good fan base and a united one, that is not what's going to stop him from making a trade or not executing a trade at this point. Because Ross wants one thing, and it's missing from these fingers. He wants a ring. Mm-hmm. He wants a Super Bowl ring. And so if somebody that is in of a position of power that knows what's going on says, hey, bro, this is what we're going to do, he's going to listen. Why do you think Dan Marino, and that's the other thing, right? When we watch any Dolphins game, they always show a shot of Stephen Ross. And who is sitting on the steps next to Stephen Ross every single game? Dan Marino, who's not sitting in a seat. He's sitting on the steps next to Stephen Ross, which I don't get, by the way. If somebody could explain that to me, I would be greatly appreciated. It's always bothered me. Now, with all that being said, all right, if Dan Marino had the ear of Stephen Ross and really wanted Herbert, as people said that he did, then I think that you would have seen Justin Herbert in a Dolphins uniform instead of Tua Tagovailoa. I don't think that's the case. I don't think Ross has any decision-making. I think that Tua is the guy that Greer and Flo wanted. And even if Watson does become available, I could still see them say, you know what, we're going to stick with Tua. Why not?
But here's the thing. I mean, I think you made a point earlier with Stephen Ross wanting rings. Stephen Ross is 81 years old, right? He's not going to be waiting forever for the Dolphins to be Super Bowl contenders and bring a ring and bring a Lombardi to Miami, right? So that means he's going to put ultimate pressure on this current regime to do whatever it takes to at least to be a playoff contender and push this team closer to Super Bowl contention. And maybe that would get Greer and Brian Flores the ammo to push Stephen Ross to approve of a trade if Deshaun Watson gets cleared of his, of his charges, whatever he's facing, right? And
real quick, man. So here's the thing.
Because the thing is, these guys,
defense wins.
Brian Flores and Chris Greer, remember, these guys they're on the hot seat. These guys are pressure to win. These guys on a short leash. If they don't get this team to the playoffs, it's their asses. You know what I'm saying? So
no, I know. I got you on that, Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Wade.
No, I don't. First of all, I don't think that these guys are on a short leash. I think Ross loves what they're doing. But the thing is, defense wins championships, man. And any trade for Watson would likely have to involve Xavien Howard. It would have to involve Shula, and maybe even something else, which I think is paying way too much, especially we already talked about, like the value of a guy like X. Like, defense wins championships. There's a reason we rotated quarterbacks last year and won 10 games. And, like, imagine where our defense would have been if Byron Jones was healthy, if we had the time to click, if our schedule wasn't so tough, we could talk about all this extra stuff. But I've said this before on the show. There's only been one time in history when the Super Bowl was won on offense, and it's when the Chiefs beat the 49ers a couple years ago. Like, defense is what wins you games. There's a reason 85 Bears had a great defense. The 72 Dolphins, the Killer Bees defense, right? The Ravens, when they went to the Super Bowl and won with Trent Dilfer, had one of the best defenses we've ever seen. It's in every sport. Defense wins championships. If Ross's ultimate goal was to win a Super Bowl right now before he dies of old age, like, it's not going to involve giving up arguably the best corner in football. It's just not how you're going to get there. There's a reason you brought in Flores, a defensive guy, to run the team. There's a reason the Patriots went to the Super Bowls every year, and they won scoring 17 points or 13 points or whatever it is. I mean, when they beat the Rams the other year, they held the best offense in football to 3 points. Like, defense is what wins you games. One of the craziest moments for me is that Peyton Manning's Seattle versus Seattle Super Bowl, and all they said was, well, the Broncos had the best offense, Seattle has the best defense. So that always means the defense is going to win. But we like Peyton Manning, so we're taking the Broncos. Like, what are you talking about? And, of course, they went out there and got smashed.
Well, I mean, let me ask you another question. Actually, before I do, Ghost, is there any last thing you want to talk about before I let you go? Any other statements? Any final words of wisdom for us?
Yeah, man. Just I hope the Dolphins stay with Tua. I think he has a lot of potential.
I do too. Yeah,
a lot of upside. He is a 5th overall pick. If you just move on from him, it's going to be a waste of draft resources. Regarding X, I hope the Dolphins come to the table with X. At least to discuss the contract, maybe the numbers here and there, because at least if you bring him to the table, it'll show him the respect that he claims he deserves and stuff like that. At least show him an interest that you're willing to be open and discuss contract negotiations and stuff. And you don't want this to drag into the season, because this is going to divide the locker room up and stuff. So. Just all I say for Dolphin fans, just, be excited about the team. I mean, we have more talent than I've never seen this much talent on Dolphins, on this team on paper in a long time. And I'm really excited for the future, and hopefully we make the playoffs, man. I mean, if we win 11 or 12 games and make the playoffs, that's a good sign for me of improvement in year 3. So
I agree.
That's all I agree.
Thanks, Ghost. I appreciate it big time, man. Thank you for coming out.
Hey, man. Thank you for having me on your show, buddy.
No problem, man. Anytime. This is Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show. We're talking about Clack Blockers. I'm your host, Stephen D. Alongside me, my Tuesday co-host, Wade O. from What Would Shula Do. Guys, Wade also has a brand new episode that just dropped. Episode 11, X's and O's and Trade Rumors. What Would Shula Do podcast with Wade O. Make sure you guys go check that out right here on Miami Sports Music Podcast Network on YouTube. It is awesome. You guys also want to check out some other amazing content. I have a really cool interview with Bad Bruno and Solo D. Bad Bruno's a punk rock band that did the Miami Dolphins fight song some time ago, and it's pretty awesome to have those two people up there from Solo and Bad Bruno. It's really, really cool. Also, I want to remind everybody as well, too, on Thursday night at 9 p.m. Thursday at 9. Wait, what time? Give it to me one time. Thursday at what?
I think you said 9.
9 p.m.
9?
Eastern Standard Time in the U.S.
Important.
In the U.S., we're going to have a Dolphins Roundtable show. And right now, I have this gentleman to the right of me. He's going to be up there. I have Reason that's going to be up there. I have Dougly Do Wrong that's going to be on there. I'm hoping TD is able to come on. He hasn't given me a confirmation yet if he's able to or not, if he's free. But we're going to have a pretty big roundtable. I have a few other people that I'm just waiting on confirmations for. And we're going to have a really cool Miami Dolphins roundtable on Thursday night right here at 9 p.m. So make sure you mark your calendars, you set your timers, whatever it's going to be. Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to have a Dolphins Roundtable show, and I'm pretty stoked about it. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be good times. Last thing, before we get into the final thoughts of the day in the last 10 minutes here of the show, I do want to ask you guys, if you haven't done so already, please hit that like button. Hit it, smack it, tap it, eat it, pancake it, whatever you're going to do, hit it. And also, want to give another big shout out to Irving with the 99-cent donation. Guys, if everybody right now, every single person right now gave at least $1 donation that's watching, it goes to helping the channel grow. So donate. It all counts. It all helps, and we're trying to grow this thing. We have a lot of new amazing content that we're trying to do, and that includes a pregame show live from the Miami Dolphins parking lot. There's a lot of equipment we need to be able to get that. So when you guys donate to the channel, it helps the channel grow. So please donate. It helps big time. Irving with another 99-cent donation. Irving's trying to get the party rolling on the donation train. So let's go. Follow Irving. Get in line. Let's go. And if you haven't done so already, share the content. Share it. Let's get more people watching. Let's go. Love it. All right. Do you think, Wade, that Xavien Howard gets traded in the next 2 weeks?
No.
And why not?
Well, camp is just kind of getting started here. So, number one, I don't know if any team is at a point where they're willing to pay yet, right? What Xavien Howard rightfully is going to cost, which again, in my opinion, is starting at 2 first-round picks. So I think where that's going to emerge is while camp's going down, while preseason's going down, someone gets hurt, someone gets cut, someone gets traded, whatever it is, and that kind of frees up the spot for X. Like, I don't think the Dolphins are ready to pull the trigger until they know for sure they can trust Noah to step on the field. And I don't think another team is going to know for sure that they're ready to give up what it's going to take until they know that they have a product that's just X away. Or should I say, until they think they have a product that's just Xavien Howard away from being that Super Bowl contender. Because I don't know about you, I wouldn't give up, the ammo for it if I didn't think that's what I needed to get to Super Bowl. And then you have some situations too where you got to understand, like, these teams have to have money to take on X's contract, so they're going to have to know what their final roster is going to look like, or at least have an idea of what their final roster is going to look like. And with the new rules, you can carry 90 players pretty much all the way through until the start of the season. So these teams are going to need to know who they're cutting, what their cap space is going to look like, who they have if they don't land X. Does the rest of their defense look good enough that X is what puts them over the top? I just think there's too many factors in there. You know what I mean?
No, I get you. I 100% get you. I have said this from the beginning that what I truly believe is that the NFL, a lot of these teams, not just the Dolphins, they're waiting for training camp cuts. And I don't think you're going to see any trade executed, any big-time trade, unless it's Deshaun Watson or Aaron Rodgers. Those are the two exceptions to the rule. I don't think you're going to see any big-time trades happen until week 2 of preseason. Because I think a lot of teams want to see who are teams getting rid of. Because you got to remember, there's going to be cap cut. There was no post. We were all waiting to see, all right, who's going to get cut post June 1st in the NFL. And they never came.
It was really just Julio. But I mean, that was
it.
trade.
And it
but
wasn't,
we knew
yeah,
that
and
was
he
going
got
to be
traded.
there. Yeah, we knew that was going to happen already. You know what I mean?
So look, I think that's what I agree with you. I think that's what, you're going to hear. It's going to be very interesting to see. Here's what I think. My original thought process is my man sits out the entire preseason, X-Man, Xavien Howard, sits out the entire preseason. And what you're going to do is you're going to see him play week 1. He'll be ready by week 1. Now, what I'm hearing from other people is that he is not going to sit out, that he's going to come to camp. But if he does not have a contract by the time he comes to camp, he's going to be a very disgruntled player. I don't believe that rumor personally, because the one thing I've known about Xavien Howard is he's never quit on his team.
100%.
He's
Flores talks about it.
So
Flores talks about it. He's a good player. I think he's coming to camp. I agree with you. I think he's coming to camp. I think I don't know what the ultimate end game is going to be. Nobody does, obviously, but I don't think he's a guy that sits out. He's a team player. He's going to be at camp.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And so that's what I think is going to happen. Now, this Deshaun situation madness, or Deshaun Watson madness, this whole situation, I have to believe that the Dolphins are always going to see if they can get better. Grier has always proven that I'm going to sit here and I'm going to see what can I do to make my team better. And if it improves my team, I'm going to go do it. The reality of all this is I just don't see it happening. I truly think that Grier and Flo are in love with Tua, personally. That's what I think. And I think that they truly want to see what this kid has to offer before they give up a farm or give up a big deal to go out and get Watson. Now, if the Watson deal presents itself as too good of a deal to pass up, you pull the trigger. What is too good of a deal to pass up? I don't know, but I trust in Grier. I trust Grier enough to know that if he makes a trade, it's a good deal.
Yeah, no, I think you hit it on the head. A lot of stuff you said. I mean, the reason Deshaun Watson rumors even out there is because he's Deshaun Watson, right? Like if there's a good player that's available, especially if you're not loaded at the position, and when I say loaded, like you don't already have a Patrick Mahomes or an Aaron Rodgers. Pretty much everybody else, Deshaun Watson could be an upgrade, especially when you factor in the age. But like when you have a star player, when you have a guy that plays at a position that the NFL intentionally wants to market, and you have a team that's been historically weak at that position, I'm not saying they are right now. I'm not saying we are right now. But here's the other thing. Like, why did we draft Jalen Waddle? Why did we draft Jalen Phillips? Right? What did Flores and Grier say about
Jalen Waddle?
Jalen Waddle.
Oh, okay. I don't know why.
Jalen Waddle. We drafted these guys because they were hardworking team guys, right? Waddle had the injury, could have sat the rest of the season, worked his butt off to come back, right? Look, I censored myself there. I said but. Same thing with Phillips, right? Phillips could have retired.
After dropping an F-bomb earlier this morning.
You know what? He deserved it. Sorry.
That's why I brought you on.
I get too.
Raw and unfiltered.
But anyway, you know what I've been thinking about while I'm sitting here? I want to make this thing like a Star Wars. Like I want to get the headphones and the microphone in the helmet, look like I'm flying a red leader standing by.
Take your headphones off real quick and put that on. I want to see you with it on.
I'm making a point, by the way.
Bro, if you put a one of these on there, if you put one of those, if you put a microphone on that thing and a visor, like a Ricky visor, bro.
Now available on MiamiSportsMusic.com.
No, it's not.
Like Paul Stanley or something to sell all this stuff. But yeah, my point is, right, like, we went out and got Phillips, Waddle, because they're guys that were hardworking dudes. Like that's what impressed. Like personally, like I thought we were going to take Kwity Paye. Right, I had him rated a little higher on my board than Phillips. Right, we got him because he's a hardworking guy. Like he worked his way back when he was forcibly medically retired and was very good in the absence of Greg Rizzo and that Hurricanes team. What did Tua do this offseason, man? He got the receivers together. He bulked up. He hit the gym. He studied the playbook.
Tua did everything. Yeah.
Yeah. He's doing charitable causes. He's doing
I thought you meant Rodgers. Rodgers was sitting in the back of somebody's pickup truck drinking beer.
Rodgers don't have to work anymore, bro. He's figured it out. I don't think he's exempt. You could show me Aaron Rodgers like sitting in a lawn chair at training camp, and I'd be like, I'm sure he's studying something.
Yeah.
But
as a player, you're like, that's just Aaron Rodgers. That's what he does, and yep.
But Tua, Tua's been working. Tua's been doing his thing, and you know what they say, right? Like hard work always beats talent. Well, Tua has both. You know, and yes, there's stories of these guys like. You know, you watch those Bo Jackson documentaries. People are like, I swear he never worked out. Like he just looked like that. You know, but like Tua obviously wasn't that dude. He was a little guy. Like look at how much different he looks if you look at a picture of him right now versus even last year. You know what I mean? And that's just the weight room. That's not including the grinding on the field, the working with the receivers, all the other stuff.
Hey, Wade, I need you to do me a huge favor.
I'm ranting.
I need you to do me a huge favor. I need you to pick a number 1 to 100.
Okay.
I'm ready.
You want me to tell you? Oh, you said 72.
72. All right. If somebody donates $72 to the channel, I'm going to have Wade send out a What Would Shula Do t-shirt. And I will pay for the t-shirt, Wade.
It costs $71.
Matter of fact, I will make it a hat and combo. Do you have a shirt or a hat nearby you?
I have. You know what I got nearby me? This wonderful hat.
The DWA hat on
right
MiamiSportsMusic.com.
Available right next to the helmet communication device.
The communication device that you're going to make, that if you do, I will blow up. Like that.
That helmet is not rated to be tackled by Raekwon Davis or Jerome Baker, by the way.
If somebody donates $72, I will send them a What Would Shula Do. Here, let me put your logo up in the top right so they can actually see what it looks like. See, now I got to go. I wish you had your shirt near you so people could see it, bro.
Yes, Steven's trying to get me to tell everyone how late I was this morning.
Oh, I know. I mean, I'm not saying nothing, but I'm saying something.
That's on me. See, I can throw the logo up real quick, I think, from the banners, right?
There we go. What would Shula do at the top right?
Boom.
At the top right. Let's go. What would Shula do? If you want a shirt,
hold on to two
and a hat combo, let's go. Let's go. Irving says, donate, y'all. It helps. Let's go. 72. The greatest football team ever. Undefeated. I like it. I like it, dude. 72. Get a nice hat and t-shirt combo set. That'll be nice. That'll be real nice. All right. Now, back to why we wait to see if anybody does that. We're going to do our final thoughts of the day. So training camp is right around the corner. It's probably going to start next week by the time we get back on here next Tuesday, you and I.
For sure.
What are you most looking forward to in training camp?
Besides the stuff that we've already talked to death, right? The running back competition, what receivers are getting cut, XYZ. I'm interested to see which linemen make the cut. You know, I think we got a solid idea what we think we're going to be starting, but we did bring in a few backup guys over the last couple of days. I think we actually re-signed Timon Paris yesterday, I believe.
Yep.
I'm interested to see how many D linemen we stick with. And I know that sounds weird, but, you know, outside of Steeler and Raekwon and Christian Wilkins, you get Butler back. I'm interested mainly because I think that's going to tell us a little bit more about how much we trust our linebackers. You know, I made some comments before the draft about, you know, how loaded we were at receiver before we even went out and got like a Jalen Waddle. But we had almost as many linebackers, if not, I think it was as many linebackers. We had like 11 or 12 linebackers on the roster at one point.
Mm-hmm.
So we know McKinley's going to be there. We know, and I'm very excited for McKinley, by the way, another a really good interior run stuffer, something we haven't had in a while. But since Raekwon McMillan got traded, really. But you know, him, Baker, you know, I want to see how many snaps Van Ginkel's going to get. You know, are we going to keep Vince Beagle? We brought back Ewan Roberts. How's that going to look? Like I'm really interested to see what some of our linebackers do. But I think just like everybody else, my main focus is going to be the rookies. You know, Javon Holland, Jalen Waddle specifically. I'm going to watch Eichenberg. I think Eichenberg is already going to fit in perfectly our scheme.
I think Eichenberg's going to be a starter from day one, and I've said that numerous times on this platform.
Sure. And I agree.
Hey, real quick, I asked Wade to pick a number from 1 to 100 a little bit ago. He said 72. So I said, if anybody donates $72 to the channel, then they will get this awesome T-shirt that Wade is wearing in this photo here, which, by the way, looks like you had a photo shoot in the mountains there in the Rockies.
So, for those of you guys that have never actually experienced that, this is Miami people left and right? There's like a genetic reason that people that live in high mountains, like in Asia, have like eyes that are like more receptive to the sun. When you're out in the mountains and it's completely covered by the sun, it's physically painful to keep your eyes open. So I know I look a little goofy here. I'm not sure how we even said
you do look well. You look goofy all the time. Bro. You look goofy all the time.
It was bright. It was bright.
Bro,
the best lights.
The What Would Shula Do shirt, and you also get a hat to go with that. So if you donate to the channel right now, $72. Anybody who donates gets a What Would Shula Do T-shirt and hat combo. Let's go. Let's go. Chef Ju said Wade is a model now.
You know now. This has been going on for a while.
NorCal says snowblind.
I'll be down in Mexico next week. We'll take some pictures on the beach for you guys.
Is that what you're doing next weekend?
Yes, sir. It's my sister Sarah. If you guys ever been to the
Oh, that's right. Sarah's getting married.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, we gotta have guys. If you want to hang out, if you want a cool person, you know who's cooler than Wade?
Nobody.
Wade's sister. Sarah's awesome. I need to make sure that we can tag her in that I said that, by the way. Drip ENT says that vest though, snowproof.
Your local Harley dealership got you.
It is pretty sick, man. I have to admit, this is a pretty good picture. You got some good ink on your arms too. You're tatted
I'm
up,
covered, man. I'm running out of space.
You have any Dolphins tattoos?
I do. So, Milan, for those you don't know, from Slovakia, comes out to the game sometimes. He's the guy that actually has some Dolphins fans tattooed on his leg. So I got him some tickets, and he was supposed to do my DWA tattoo. And then I couldn't go to the game he was at, so he was coming back next year. And then it was COVID time, and that didn't happen. He couldn't leave the country, all this other stuff. So somewhere, hopefully this season, I'll be at the tailgate getting my DWA tattoo. The one I currently have, this is one of my first ones. I mean, this is faded to, you can't even see the orange in it anymore. We'll have to get that touched up too.
Is that O for Wade O?
My jerseys back in the day, when I used to get a jersey, I would always get to 0 on it. The NFL, they don't actually let players wear 0 anymore.
I got you.
But I have one laying around here somewhere still. But yeah, I mean, I've had that tattoo like 17 years now. It's kind of faded out. We got to get it touched up. Chris Johnson, monster, 0 sacks. What's Miami football talk you're talking about?
I think him and Chris Johnson, who are in the chat, are talking about.
I'm thinking Chris Johnson, the running back. I'm like, yeah, no, he didn't have any sacks. Not that I know of. You want to talk about a more overhyped guy. He played it that 1 year. His O-line was so great. Go back and watch the highlights. It's just him running through like a hole 3 people wide. And he got to 2,000 yards, and then you never heard from him again.
Hey, Wade. Read this.
Oh, man. So DWA stands for Does Wade Actually.
Yeah, Does Wade
I dropped it behind the thing. I got to go get it. Dolphins with attitude, man. Dolphins with attitude.
Dolphins, not Dolphins. Dolphins. Fans. Dolphins with attitude. We are worldwide.
Dolphin is spelled DOLFAN. For every other thing, we put a PH in front of it where it doesn't belong. For some reason, for that, we spell it with an F. I have no idea why. It's probably Joe Robbie's fault.
Oh, it's all Joe Robbie's fault. That's what we'll go with. He did a lot wrong anyway.
There it is, Mark.
Dolphins with attitude. Yeah, it is a brand that Solo D came up with about a decade ago. And hey, it's been going strong ever since. So if you know, this is a DWA podcast as well as Wade's is a DWA podcast. Allie's is a DWA podcast. Yeah, so look, we're trying to do big things. Nobody wanted your What Would Shula Do shirt, man. They didn't want it. They didn't want to donate.
Because they know what he would do is keep to it. That's why. They're bored. They want to talk about Deshaun Watson. Give it a couple weeks. After we win, 3 out of our first 4 games, they're gonna understand.
Dude, we're gonna win 4 out of our first 4 games. I think we're going like 6-0 or 7-0 to start the season.
Well, Solo say 17-0.
No, Solo will say 20-0.
Yeah, right. I don't even know what would the path be these days. Is it 20 games now?
Yeah, something like that.
If you're the one team that gets the bye.
Solo D, can't wait to see the newest music. Oh, bruh. Y'all ain't even, I've heard the song for this year. I've heard a rough cut of what the song is going to be this year. Y'all are in for a surprise. Solo stuff is crazy. Crazy. It's funny because I seen a pic of X training with an NWO shirt.
Nando.
Fernando's in the building, everybody. Love it. Absolutely awesome. Look, hey, I want to know, you know what? If you guys don't want to donate the 72 and get that, donate your area code. Wherever your area code is, donate your area code. Area code donations. Let's go. Come on, baby. 34 likes. Can we get 6 more likes? Can we get to 40 before we get off? Get to 40 likes. 6 more donations. Let's go. Do your area code. So if you live in the 909, donate $9.90 or $90.90. I tried, right? No? Okay. Estefan says, good morning. Just woke up. Have to rest my back. And Deshaun Watson talk never gets old. Nonsense.
It's nonsense.
Hey, look, man. You know what? I will actually bring you into that conversation real quick that we had yesterday. Were you able to listen to the show yesterday, or were you too busy sleeping in like you were this morning?
You talking to me or Estefan?
I'm talking to you.
Bro, I get up in mountain time.
All right. Well,
no, actually, I was at the office early yesterday.
I'm about to step back out for an attitude adjustment. Clock block in a Super Bowl. I like it. All right. So yesterday we were talking about, for a little bit on the show, painkillers and alcoholism that players use to kind of calm down. And, if THC was allowed in sports. And obviously you being from Colorado, I got to ask, how do you regulate this to be a thing where it doesn't get, I guess, quote unquote, abused for the players? Because I'm a big advocate for it. I think that I would love to get, opioids and painkillers out of the game if we can and have another alternative.
So I think it was Pfizer or one of these major drug companies actually just quietly settled with the government and completely stepped away from producing opioids. Here's the issue, man, and I'm not a big weed guy, but the problem is some athletes will tell you it's a performance enhancing drug. I'm kind of torn with okay, if we're going to allow recreational drugs, should we not allow all recreational drugs? But where do you draw the line between, let's be honest, all the players in the 70s in Miami, bro, what do you think they were doing before the games? You know what I mean? Where do you draw the line between, what a player's doing in their personal time and what's actually considered, performance enhancing? We could very easily sit here and say something like, okay, well, if it's during the off season, it's fine. If it's during the season, it's not. The problem with that is you get guys like a dude like Julian Edelman who pops for, the PEDs. Those effects don't ever go away. Once you do them one time, you have a lot of those effects for life. Now, a lot of other things is not the same. So NorCal, so check it out, right? He talks about pop performance enhancing. So a lot of endurance athletes, specifically long distance, runners, climbers, the dudes that do triathlons and all that stuff, they're all doing edibles and microdosing and all that. And they literally say it not only dulls their pain that comes along from like a performance thing, like running for, hours at a time or whatever it is, but it also helps them like focus their mind, which is obviously a big thing, like when it comes to sports. So the thing about this is a lot of these things have different effects on different people. Like if everyone in this group did a shot of whiskey with me right now, like we would all not have the exact same experience, So I don't know, man. I don't have an answer, and I don't know if we're going to have an answer on this for quite a long time. Like, I think the smart thing would probably be, obviously not at the facilities, not at the training camp, not in the locker room, stuff like that. Not on probably team travel buses or hotels.
I have to admit, I think I disagree. I think that they should allow THC or like the gummies or something like, if player, again, and I'm going to repeat a little bit of what I said on yesterday's show. And if I'm repeating myself, I apologize, guys. There's a really good podcast that you guys need to check out. It's called All the Smoke. All the Smoke is hosted by Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes. And it's on Showtime, and you can download it on all the platforms. But there's a really good episode that I want to say All the Smoke with Jermaine O'Neal, if I'm correct. That's the one. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Al Harrington. Al Harrington. Go check out. Matter of fact, I'm going to pull it up here.
Don't get us kicked off again, bro.
Huh? No. I'm not. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I'll go while you're looking for that. Like, one of the other things I'll say here is that there is, I pay a lot of attention to a lot of this stuff. I'm a big like reader, podcast, news thing guy. Sorry, I threw that up there, Steve, but I mean, while we put it there, it's not even cannabis, man. It's really not. Like, I want to take the focus off of one specific thing. Like, there's a ton of research right now showing that, like, psychedelics, for example, are helping people kick opioid addictions, and like some of them, it's literally
but we're not talking about that. Like, what we're talking, and by the way, I am that we're not talking about that. What we're talking about is how can we help players get off painkillers and addicted to alcohol to calm down after a game or to recover a little bit quicker.
Well, this is kind of what I'm saying. So there's all kinds of different stuff. The problem is regulation is almost never a good thing, right? In this country, especially because of things like the FDA, it's very hard for new therapies and stuff like that to come to light. So I think there's probably tons of different things we could be doing, right? But someone needs to come along with a checkbook and write money specifically to this. And, the NFL always has all these little pet causes for whatever they want to look good on in this particular week. That concussion movie came and went. Like, it barely slapped them. They said, oh, we're going to change helmets a little bit and we'll move a practice restriction. Everybody forgot it happened. Like, what should happen is the NFL and the NFLPA should come to an agreement on this. There should be money set aside specifically for some of these experimental therapies, like they're doing with like MDMA and stuff right now, to help people get off the opioids, all this other stuff. And in terms of just calming down after the game, I mean, listen, this is going to sound mean, but this is part of what it is, right? This is part of the job. Like, it sucks. You have to hop on a plane. You didn't even know where I'm going yet. I didn't even say where I'm going yet. It sucks that after a game, you have to cram into a bus and go to an airport and fly across country. And that stuff sucks. Like, I fly in for the Dolphins games. Like, that traveling stuff, it's exhausting. It beats you down. Like, but everyone kind of deals with that in a different way. Like, I mean, there's a lot of things we could be doing for these players besides just legalizing cannabis. Let's put them up in a nice hotel for that night. Let's not jam them back in and make them fly across the country right away. Let's look at how we're scheduling some of these games. Like, why is a road team traveling on a Sunday just to come home and play 3 days later on a Thursday night? Like, there's tons of things that they should be doing if they really care about these players. But what they really care about is the PR. Like, weed's a hot button thing right now. It's becoming legal everywhere across the country, and it's going to be legal everywhere across the country and federally in the next 5 or 6 years. We mark my words on that. Like, the NFL's sooner or later not going to have a choice because everywhere else is going to be saying, why aren't you doing what we did?
No, look, I agree with that. What I want to be able to get rid of the Brett Favre situation. Brett Favre was addicted to painkiller for years, right? Ryan Leaf had a drug problem, but it was part of it was upheld to the painkillers that he was using after games and football practice, right? I mean, that's how it kind of got started. It went into a lot of other things. But that's, I love that the NFL and all of these other professional sports are taking such a big step into the mental health field. Because I think taking mental health, putting that a rise above a lot of other things, along with the opportunity to recover in a healthier way, not using opioids, painkillers, alcohol, there was a really great interview or it was an article. It was either an article or an interview with Jason Taylor. And Jason Taylor in this, and I'm paraphrasing, and you guys might be able to correct me if I'm wrong if you remember what I'm referencing, but it was something to the effect of Jason Taylor played on a game, couldn't wake up the next morning and walk, and had to use whatever substance, like painkillers or whatever, to be able to play. Yeah. And he was hooked up to an IV and something for the rest of the week up until the next game, and had to get these shots to be able to play. These guys aren't going to be. They're not going to have a life after football if you keep that up. It's not going to happen.
Chris says that's why you can't hit the QB anymore. It's funny that when you talk about, what happened to Favre, what happened to Ryan Leaf, and these are my exact arguments as to why we should have drafted Penei Sewell in the first round this year. But no, I get it, man. And here's the thing, like you mentioned mental health and all, like how about as an organization, especially an organization that's only successful because of great players, you take care of your people however they need to be taken care of. Like the fact that there's these blanket rules, like we're going to use this, not that. Like there's no biology doesn't work that way. The thing that's going to work for you may not work for me, right? And you may get hit in the head and have a very different impact than I do. You may tear a knee up and be able to recover from it where I can't. You know what I mean? Some of these guys like Taylor, like personally, when I hear a story like that about Taylor, like what I hear is not, how rough the NFL is. I hear like, damn, what a bad dude Jason Taylor was. He was willing to go.
Well, he was a badass. Don't get it twisted. But still, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think a player should have to do that in order to, provide for his family or put, the entertainment on for me to like. Don't get me wrong, I love Jason Taylor, right? But if any of that story of what I heard is even remotely close to being accurate, that's sad. That is sad. And you talked about the concussion movie, CTE. CTE is a big deal, right? I've had 9 concussions on record. 9. My wife swears up and down one day I'll have it. Okay. And we make the joke of it, but it's not a joking matter. It's a real thing, bro.
Well, but there's evidence now that CTE doesn't only come from brain hits. I mean, boxers get it from getting punched in the ribs.
Yeah.
And when you look at any sport or any even extreme activity, like you look at these mountain climbers and these hardcore hunters and all this stuff, like anytime you're pushing your body physically to an extreme or to a breaking point, like there are negative effects, right? Like, so I guess my point here, I'll go back to it again, is like, why is the NFL saying, we'll settle with you and talk about potentially, allowing marijuana for this problem? How about we go in and see what's the best solution? How about we allow everything that we think can help this problem? We have to find a way to separate what's quote unquote performance enhancing, right? And what should be allowed to work. And this is a bigger problem than just the NFL, right? This goes to the FDA, this goes to this country.
Manalo says, what role does the players union play here? I mean, if you're asking me that, and I'm sure Wade's got his thoughts on that too, but I mean, look, the collective bargaining agreement is something that pops up every few years, right? Whether they agreed to something that lasts 10 years or not, they're always, like it's crazy. It's crazy to really think about, hey, we need to restructure, renegotiate X, Y, and Z. You're right. The concussion movie came out. They made a little pension fund for former players of the early days to be able to have some medical insurance. They changed their policy on how they no longer were going to do 2-a-days, and they changed their helmets a little bit, right? So you're right. They did in my opinion, the bare minimal to cover their ass so that they didn't get charged with lawsuits in the future. But I think if you really want to make a difference, I think that's on the players, the union, to be like, hey, this is us. You got to want to help yourselves. Now, some of the stuff that I realized listening to Pat McAfee, right? Pat McAfee said that during Madden, every player on Madden would get, $5,000 to $10,000 in revenue sharing from the Madden NFL game for the rights to their likeness and whatever, right? And everybody got the same amount. It didn't matter if you were Peyton Manning or Pat McAfee or some whatever. You got that. It was part of your thing. But if you were not involved in the players' union, you got to you negotiated whatever. So it's not always been a fit. There are a lot of players that are a part of the NFL that are not affiliated with the players' union. They're not.
Well, the problem with a union, right, is that the majority may not share your opinion. Like, here's a perfect example. Cole Beasley's been in the news recently, right? And he's very upset that the NFL is trying to force players to vaccinate, right? Now, they're literally doing things like making teams implement a visual way to tell the difference between players that are vaccinated and not vaccinated, whatever it is. Like, if the NFLPA came out and said, well, we've agreed with the NFL that, everyone's going to get vaccinated, Cole Beasley wouldn't be thrilled with that. And that's just one example, right? But it's like that for a lot of things, like part of it is, where's the player's responsibility and personal choice? Tom Brady fought to wear a helmet that wasn't technically allowed anymore. Yeah. Well, if the helmet was tested and allowed for X amount of years or whatever it is, why can't a player have the personal choice to say, well, I'm going to wear this helmet? I understand it's not the safest. I understand, this is supposedly better at concussion protection, but this is better for, my vision or whatever it is I want to do. Like, the problem is when you get these big bargaining agreements, that's what it is. It's an agreement. You got to give me something so I give you something. And I don't think we're ever going to get to a place where everyone's happy. But it just seems to me that if there's, specifically when it comes to this issue, right, the union has not historically been great in my lifetime.
They have not at all.
In fact, there's been a lot of times where they've negotiated some things that seemed like they were almost on the NFL side and not the player side. But I can't imagine anyone being happy with an agreement that says, okay, now I'm forced to do something else I didn't want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, look, guys, this is we got to wrap up the show. This has been a really, really great football talk. Dolphin chat this morning. YouTube Live here on Miami Sports Music Podcast Network, the #1 Miami fan morning show. That's right. I am talking about Clock Blockers, baby. Clock Blockers. We do it big here. We love you guys. And the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network, there's so much stuff that is coming out. A lot of great content. What did we get to today? We got to 37 likes. So we didn't quite get to 40, but that's okay. We only got a few, 99-cent donations. But hey, look, I said it all counts. If you want to donate to the channel real quick, you guys can do that before we go. You guys can use PayPal, MSM Podcast Network, or Cash App, the money sign, MSM Podcast Network, or real quick, use the Super Chat. All the donations go to help this channel grow. We have a lot of cool things that we're trying to do, and we can't do it without your help. So when you guys donate to the channel, it helps a lot. Also, just because we're about to get off the air doesn't mean you need to stop sharing this episode. Go share this episode. Talk about it with people on social media. Give your 2 cents worth. Say Steven's crazy. Steven's absolutely. I don't know about this guy, Steven. He's ridiculous. But you guys should listen to him because he's awesome. It's crazy. And then Wade make sure you check out. Oh man, Ivan Ulysses with the $20 donation. Big shout out to you, Ivan. Appreciate the love, man. Thank you so much. It means a lot, man. It really does mean a lot. So he says victory. Hey, Wade, you got so much background noise. You're on punishment.
Dude, there's nothing going on here.
Yeah. We can all hear your background noise. We don't hear anything now.
Nothing, dude. No, it's quiet over here, bro.
Yeah. We're gonna have to, you know what? If you guys donate to the channel, maybe we'll get Wade a new microphone.
Prototype helmet microphone.
See, Miami football talk. Hope everyone has a great day. Love to all my fans. Irving says, donate and like y'all. Hashtag DWA. Hashtag clock blockers. Ryan AP says, fins up. Marcos Diaz says, Cam. Yvonne, man, absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the donation. I really want you to become a member of the channel. If you haven't become a member of the channel already, make sure you guys go do that. Wade, any final thoughts before I let you go, my friend?
Just watch training camp. Stop trying to live in the Deshaun Watson rumor realm. X is here until X isn't here. 2 is our guy. Let's go. We got rookies to watch, man.
Thursday night, 9 p.m., you will hear Wade right here on this platform again, along with a lot of other cool individuals. So make sure you guys go listen to that. It'll be live right here at 9 p.m. on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network on YouTube. Make sure you guys go do that. It's going to be awesome. Yvonne says, no problem. I sent a tip through Cash App the other day. Hope you all got it. Let's go, Miami. Again, Yvonne, thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. LMAO, get Wade a mic and get him some Cali pain meds.
Listen, Mark Angelo gave me some Cali pain meds last time I saw him in Oakland, and I woke up like 3 days later.
That sounds about right. Big Time says, fins up all day, every day. Trust the process. Clock blockers for life. I love it. Love it. All right, guys, y'all be good. If you're not going to be good, be great. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. We'll be here right again tomorrow on the #1 Miami fan morning show. I am talking about clock blockers. So make sure you guys check that out. Check out everything we do. We'll see you tomorrow. Wait, bye. Peace. Be good. Fins up.